you.
My grandma tells her children, "You will never be beautiful, you just look too Jewish." So my aunt brought surgical blade to bone, narrow nose a few centimeters closer to America accepting her just so she could accept herself, carving down her natural beauty that her mother America doesn't understand, so she fears and calls it ugly, while my father swallows hatred quietly, internally letting roots erode. Washed away in pork grease and lost tongue, honey glazed ham and Christmas trees on display in front windows, convincing the neighbors his family can blend better than grime, staining American dreams, purity of Midwest, white suburbs, transplant to Frisco in the 70s, 3 children later, relocate us to Piedmont for top-notch public schools where every popular girl had yellow hair, hanging limp, hazy eyes glazed over, sapphire jewels on top of starving bones, peach pink skin pulled tight. Then how should I feel when my daddy called me his brownberry, when son kissed me olive tone? So the boys in 7th grade called me Hebrew slave. Girls at the playground scoffed at my curls, asking me, "Have you ever seen a hairbrush and a mirror?" So I tug hot irons through my locks, wish my waves light and lifeless, ignoring slurs lodged into my organs like bullets from the slaughter. Your cacophonous music, that chanting sounds like gibberish, some hacking cough, our ancient poetics, too beautiful for ignorant ears to understand, so they fear and call it ugly. We comprise 0.2% of the world population and take up too much space, tucked away into these liberal pockets of the Bay, sing ourselves the pacifying lullaby that anti-Semitism is dead just so we can sleep at night, pretending genocide is just our great-grandparents' residual nightmare. That doesn't touch us. Like, this hate is not happening today on every edge of the globe, but how can we pretend this problem died in Europe 60 years ago when just 3 weeks ago in San Francisco, swastika-stained swing-side benches at Glen Park? When arsonists in Greece hurl bars of soap, leave such streaks on singed synagogue walls to remind us that Nazis melted our remains into soap. And neo-Nazis still desecrate Jewish cemeteries, scrawling, "Jews, get out," shattering our tombstones. Even in death, we cannot rest. Even in graves, we take up too much space. And still, there's no way to suffocate us. See our bodies breathe. Our great-grandparents' memories, we rebuild everything that's destroyed 4,000 years stronger, so we will never stop laughing and praying and being too loud, never stop living. We will never stop. Thank you. At 5:30 p.m. in Oakland, Guapale reminds me to keep reaching closer to my dreams. Bumping from my Metrophone speaker, I pick up a familiar voice, warm, even 7,000 miles away. Dida, ma kore? Achi, ani mikagata lecha, I miss you, my brother. We should meet up this summer. He tells me, yeah, if I pass my classes, and I try to reassure him, of course you'll pass. He says, D, you can't say that here. Nothing is of course in Israel. I mean, one day everything's fine, and the next day there's a war. So what you gonna do? I tell him I'm on my way to read poetry about Israel. Pro-Israel, right? Well, I'm talking about peace. Peace. Peace is for the naive. You need to stay in reality. When your enemy hits you, you hit them back. See, Palestinians gonna die, Israelis gonna die. Death is inevitable, but we have to stop these rockets. For citizens of my brother's country, war is an unfortunate familiarity, regrettable, ordinary. Each generation has been framed by one. Now children 21st century born have too been broken into. We have been made to believe we must choose. We do not have to choose. So these words are for bones crushed at the hands of soldiers and for the soldiers, forced on the front lines fresh out of high school. For children of Gaza, orphaned in the rubble and artillery, and for the children of Sderot, whose dreams have become nightmares jolted by booms of rocket blasts. Born in a year we call hope, change, a new day, for them, the sun has only set on our sun-kissed children, olive-toned homes dotted with olive groves and depleted uranium, orange trees and mortar, mother tongues and widows, pomegranate seeds and eyes turned back lifeless, drops of red wine and vials of blood, but there is never enough to replace what's been lost, shed, sacrificed, stolen. They do not know of political gain, land claim, white papers, broken promises made 6 decades before their birth. Still they pay for our sins with their lives and their skins, teeth, chest, concave spaces replacing breath. I wonder where they will go. If somewhere beyond the sun, burning the Negev, burning Gaza, lays a place they will know love. Return to the compassionate beings they were before we tainted them selfish, too apathetic to believe conflict would ever end with this generation, so we didn't even try. For citizens of my brother's country and the territories they hold captive, war frames life. Bullets dot days like shells do shores. Helicopters slice the air, compete with butterflies for space and sky. Not something happening on a TV screen. We can debate, cast judgment about its merits, and then retreat to the comfort of our living rooms when it becomes too heated, too close, too exhausting. There will be no off button, no retreat, no distance. This hits bedrooms, backyards, front doors, and I don't have a solution. So I offer my spirit, my voice, and a conscious choice to use it never for hate, preserved for poetry and prayer with the urgency that someone will hear when I say, please, ease up this violence, this tightness, this tension, shredding the air of Yerushalayim till the breeze on top Mount Zion suffocates, clogging the windpipes of prayers, but we can choose how we breathe. All right, I gotta go to my performance. Make us look good out there, okay, D? Beseder, Achi. Okay, my brother. And I sit back at my desk, dip my pen into a palette of ashes, shrapnel, and tears, and try to paint something beautiful. Thank you. I scream because I am so used to nobody hearing me. Easily passed over, I am bleeding bright on concrete, hoping someone who passes me might turn around, wrap myself tightly so you can't get close enough to hurt me. Already had enough pain in my history. Nazis, Gestapo, KKK, it barely scratched the surface of why I'm constantly cut. Tattoos into bar-coded arms, aching limbs over forced labor, choking. I inhale poison, always missing someone. Separated into unlucky stack, now ashed into smokestacks. People try to change me, it's murder. Asking me to cut roots, I refuse to bleed sap or memory loss. My people fought for too long to be forgot. But when I say anti-Semitism, I get these quizzical eyes accusing me of lying, insisting it doesn't exist, no space for me to claim it. On the rare occasions, I open my mouth and let genocide slip out. Folks act like I'm complaining, exaggerating. Exaggerate clinging to threads of culture so your unborn children don't drown. Exaggerate questioning whether it is right for me to give life, push these heavy burdens of keeping us alive onto a child. Only living in America because in every other country you are a criminal for your roots, your tongue, your culture, your blood. So they slashed you open just hoping to drain it, exaggerate it. Toxic injections, gas chambers, slave labor, literally digging your own grave. There was no place for your body in their country except 6 feet underneath it. 6 million times 6 feet is not enough for me to qualify as oppressed enough to feel pain and talk about it. Only living in America because in every other country you were criminal. Only living in the Bay. See, after 2 generations in this country trying to escape oppression, folks in my family's hometown still couldn't accept them. Our family, a dirty impurity dusting filth on Aryan American dreams, Jewish, a dirty word. Dusting guilty filth on the purity of white suburbs, especially 2 years after the Holocaust, the year of my father's birth, and we are still choking. Not on gas, on straightened hair, nose jobs, rusty, hushed Hebrew. But no matter how we try and hide it, we can't ever be the same as you. Tucked in my mind's back, statistics, detached from faces, names, cousin, 12 of them. 1, caught running from genocide, caught a bullet in the side of his head. Plus 11 full of poison, sickness, starvation makes 11 more dead. But 11 plus 1, that's not another 12. Neatly round out and near 6 million even, tuck away in a textbook paragraph, that's 12 faces. 24 sunken eyes, emaciated cheeks, 384 teeth drilled open by soldiers for gold, 12 people forced out of places called home, 12 people stripped of family alone, 12 bodies, now bones, 12 people so strong, still they broke, cracked. No, I have never lived this. Still I look back because this struggle is my own. So I cry and got survivor's guilt. Why am I still alive? If this is my past, my history, why for 18 years it was hidden from me? All that's left is these memories, and even those are few and fading fast. Stories seem too painful to be passed. But lives untold are lives lost. No, 12 of my cousins did not die to be forgot. I can't let you be lost. That's why I let out your stories when I write. Can't stay silent, take your ashes, I scatter them through this mic. This is the only way I know to keep you alive. Thank you. So in honor of our theme of passing the baton, I'm just gonna leave you with a verse from a song called Legacy, in the idea of thinking about the legacy that was left for us and the legacy that we want to leave for our generations to come. It's up to me what I breathe for my seeds and I bleed for my people so we could be free. Can't sleep, gotta reach for my dreams. Stay running on my feet, never crumble on my knees. Hear the hunger on my scream so I know I gotta eat. See, I come from a line of soldier survivors. Try to wipe us out with the genocide. Oh, you could take away a body, but a soul never dies. For my soul to shine, I walk the righteous path. Got my goal in my eyes, can't derail my track. Lessons to teach is my destiny. Gonna take my throne, get respect as a queen, so when all that's left of me is a memory, I return to the earth through the birth of my dreams. In a time capsule with these verses be. So I'ma keep living on eternally. I said, I'ma keep living on eternally. I said, we will keep living on eternally. Thank you all so much for being here and sharing this with me. Blessings to you all.